Still can't get this screen to do what I want it to do.
Okay, we are live. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Bernice, whenever you want to call the meeting to order,
Okay.
I don't know, I think we may be waiting for 1 or 2 board members, so we can wait a minute if we need to.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Rose, do you know who we're waiting for? I don't have that in front of me. I can't see it. Is it Jeff and,
All board members are present. The only one I don't see is Attorney Mayor. So,
okay,
but
so we can go ahead then. Do you mind, Matt?
No, that's okay.
Okay, all right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our October 7th board meeting. At this time, I call this meeting to order. If we could just have a prayer and then followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. We could just bow our heads. Heavenly Father, I pray that you continue to give our administration the wisdom as they continue to make difficult decisions for our students and community. I pray for the safety of all our staff and our students. And I thank you and I ask this in your holy name. Amen. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
And to the
the
republic
republic for which it
for which
stands,
it stands,
one
one
nation,
under
under
God,
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Rose, if I could have roll call, please.
Mrs. Fiorella,
Yes.
Mr. Hoke,
here,
Mr. Gogalski,
Here.
Mrs. DeCiato,
Here.
Mr. Enslin,
Here.
Mr. Gershi,
Here.
Mr. Gambita,
Here.
Mr. Auckland,
Here.
Mr. Wood,
Here.
Attorney Meir,
Excused?
Dr. Barrett,
Here?
Dr. La Rosa,
Excused?
and Miss Emmett is here. Mrs. Fiorella, you have 9 board members present.
Thank you, Rose. Folks, at this time, we are going to do a block agenda since everything on this agenda has not changed
Wait,
except
Madam
for
President,
3
may I interrupt?
items.
Madam
Yes,
President,
Bill.
I think we should do the approval of the minutes, the treasurer's reports separately, then do the block.
Okay, we can do that. We've always included it, but if you want to do it that way, Bill, I'm
Well,
fine.
I don't know. I think since we didn't discuss the minutes and or the treasurer's reports, I think, I don't know. I think that's usually the way that's done.
Okay, we can
Unless
do it
you'd
that
like
way.
to do it Differently, just a
No.
suggestion.
We can do it. No problem whatsoever, Bill. Can I have a motion for number 5, please? The approval of minutes.
Well, I'll make that motion that we approve the minutes of the board work session held August 26, 2020, the regular board meeting on September 2nd, 2020, and the special board meeting on September 17th, 2020.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. The motion was made by Mr. Gershi and then seconded by Mr. Hoke. Are there any questions or comments on any of those? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. And any abstaining? Okay, that motion does pass. Could I have a motion for the treasurer's report, please?
I move to accept the treasurer's report from the general and food service accounts.
I'll second that.
Okay, that motion was made by Mr. Gogolski and then seconded by Mr. Wood. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. And any abstaining? Okay, that motion does pass. Okay, could I have a motion for approval of bills? We'll do that one and then we'll do a block agenda for the following.
I move to approve the bills from the general, food service, and construction accounts.
And I'll second that one too.
Okay, again, that motion was made by Mr. Gurgulski and then seconded by Mr. Wood. Are there any questions or comments on that? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Any abstaining? That motion does pass.
One more
8
question. One
Yes,
more-
go ahead.
I was going to say, before you just said do the block, before that, do the recognition part?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Right, makes sense. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so 8 is the accounting of taxes. Rose, do we have anyone from the public that wanted to ask any questions or comments?
Yes, actually, there were several members from the public who had sent in emails in regards to our band, and they're not playing at the football game on Friday night. So Dr. Barrett, would you like to address that?
Yes, thank you, Rose. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
So while Thursday afternoon, we had made plans so that the entire band would be able to attend the football game last Friday evening. We did that after the court order came down that the governor's ruling of 250 people in a given spot was unconstitutional. So we got legal guidance, and then as a result, we determined that we would be able to allow more people in, still within a reasonable number. That later that afternoon, Thursday night, we did receive another order stating that the governor's 250 capacity order was now again in effect. So we had to change our plans on the spot in order to minimize how many people were in the stadium. So we did have meetings with the band director, Ms. Ort, and discussed various options. So if we were to have the entire band there, we would have been over capacity. So as a result, we made several options available for the band to perform. So there was a boys soccer game, a girls soccer game. We provided the band with a senior night and an entire band night that evening, that Thursday, as well as a community event that they're putting together to perform at a later date. So while this was not an easy decision, it was not one that we took lightly by any means, and we would have preferred the entire band to be there in full with parents viewing as well. But being that the football team and cheerleaders will only have 2 opportunities to participate in a home event, we deemed it appropriate that obviously all of the football team and cheerleading teams participate, as well as with the opposing team having 75 people in attendance. It really narrowed what we can do with who we could allow. So we only allowed 2 parents per seniors because it was their senior night for football and cheerleading, and then one ticket for everyone else, all the other players and cheerleaders. So again, it was not ideal. It was not something we took lightly, but we did try to accommodate the band in various other venues that they would not have had otherwise. So we thought it was a more than fair, realistic approach, considering the circumstances. So, Mrs. Ort did agree. We thought it was a good plan in place. We apologize if we upset any parents, any students. We did meet with the band that evening as well, the entire band, and explain the whole process to them as well, and just try to reassure them that we're not trying to take away anything from them, but actually provide them with more opportunities than they would have originally had. So as yesterday, we did receive word that there is new guidance with capacity limits that will actually increase the amount of people we'll be able to have in the stands and indoors for various events. So at our next football game, we're planning on allowing all of the entire band to participate, as well as having parents come to the stadium to view the performances as well. So I just wanted to clarify that. I know there were several emails of unhappy parents and community members and students, but again, it was not something we took lightly, and it was not meant to offend anyone, but we just made the best decision possible considering the circumstances. So I just wanted to put that out there to those who commented so that your comments do not go unrecognized.
Thank you, Matt. I also wanted to say from the board, you know, these are never easy decisions. And Matt, you have made a lot of tough decisions, and the board supported you 100% on that. And so although it's difficult, you did a good job implementing that process. It was not easy. Rose, are there any more public comments or recognition at this time?
Let me check real quick. No, there's nothing else that came in at this time.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rose. And again, thank you, Matt. We also have the enrollment there. It is for, the totals are on the screen. If we could at this time have a block motion for 11 through 20C and E.
Well, I move that we approve items 11 through 20 with the exception of item number 20, A, B, and D to consider separately because last week they weren't complete when we considered them.
I'll
Okay,
second the motion.
great, thank you. That motion was made by Mr. Gershi and then seconded by Mr. Hoke. At this time, are there any questions or comments on any of that?
Also, is there any other board member who wanted to leave any other item out for separate consideration? Okay,
Okay, hearing none at that time. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. And any abstaining? Okay, those motions do pass. Could I please have a motion for 20A?
I move that the Board of Education approve the following personnel to be added to the district substitute list for the 2020-2021 school year per certification. Act 24, 34, 151, 114, 153, and 168 guidelines. Employment eligibility verification, U.S. Department of Justice. One is Robin Edwards, cafeteria secretary. Is it Lee Hanley, guest teacher? And Janine Hedgeland, cafeteria secretary custodian. And below it says removing Joanne Grease, the elementary family consumer science.
I'll second that.
Okay, that motion was made by Mr. Gambita and then seconded by Mr. Hoke. Any questions or comments on that? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. And any abstaining? Okay, that motion does pass. Could I have a motion for 20B, please?
I move that the Board of Education appoint the following to the list of positions for the 2020-2021 school year at the salary listed in the professional employees contract. Number 1, Sandra Summers, co-advisor, Literary Magazine, $788.50. Number 2, Sandra Summers, co-chair, English Department, $962.
I'll second that.
Okay, that motion was made by Mr. Wood and then seconded by Mr. Gogolski. Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed, say no. And any abstaining? Okay, that motion does pass. Could I have a motion for 20D, please?
I recommend the Board of Education appoint the following to the listed positions at the salary listed and contingent upon receipt of employment paperwork and effective upon release of current employment. Number 1, Jennifer Adams, Transportation Administrative Assistant with applicable fringe benefits at the salary of $16 per hour. And number 2 is Chelsea Ormiston, 12-month secretary with applicable fringe benefits at the salary of $12.27 per hour.
I'll second it.
Okay, that motion was made by Mr. Hoke and then seconded by Mr. Gershi. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. And any abstaining? That motion does pass. I would like to congratulate the appointees. And at this time, we do have some informational items. Our Robert D. Wilson, the PTA, has generously donated $500 to the new Marker Space Robotics Laboratory, which is located in the library. The students, Mrs. Miller, Ms. McAray, and Mrs. Watson, are really excited for this new space to be open for business. And I just wanted to thank the R.D. Wilson PTA for that. Also, we have some events coming up on Monday, October 12th. We have early dismissal at noon. It's going to be an Act 80 teacher in service. Wednesday, the 14th, we have PSAT. Thursday, the 15th, we have R.D. Wilson and Evergreen. The virtual open house will be at 6 p.m. Thursday, Friday, October 15th and 16th, we have High School Picture Day. On Thursday, the 22nd, we have the middle high school virtual open house. On Saturday, the 24th, we have the ACT exams. On Thursday, the 27th, we have FAFSA completion night at 6 p.m. And then Thursday, the 29th, will be picture, makeup, or retake for in-person students. Saturday, October 31st through Monday, the 2nd, we have FBLA State Leadership Workshop, which will be virtual. We also have the board meetings. We have a future board meeting on Wednesday, October 28th at 6 p.m. And then we have the board meeting November 4th, 6 p.m., the public board meeting via Zoom. We did have our informational, September 17th was a special board meeting via Zoom. At this time, is there any other business?
No other business at this time.
Okay, can I have a motion for an adjournment?
I move to adjourn.
I was gonna say, Mr. Hope, you're a little slow on that one.
Yeah, sorry,
Thank
my
you.
clicking finger was a little slow.
That's all right. Thank you, everyone. If you wanted to stay on, we can do that. But other than that, we can have a good night. Enjoy.